Yes. After more trouble than it should have been, I do indeed have it working, I believe, for archival purposes. So you may now take it away as you comb your beard.
Oh, yeah. Man,
Ostentatious
unfortunately. She doesn't have one, that's the thing.
Ostentatious, no style. This is known
the
as new social media video. Okay, everyone, I'm going to show you now how to comb beard and braid for nice night outs. Thank you for retweets. Here's what.
And I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Huge. Gotta love a hip.
Alright. Yeah, I don't know. This is just the narrator, right? Not maybe it's. Is it her specifically, or is it the third person?
See,
Okay.
I played through a little bit.
Oh, when so far from home? Because it's not using pronouns yet, I wasn't sure. But I now don't remember what she actually like. This is a nice side profile we got going on here. She looks comfy. So
I love
maybe
the
I'll
aesthetic.
just give
I love
her
the Paper Mario, except pretty.
Oh yeah.
Prettier, like anime Paper Mario or something. I don't know. I like that it's a cool kind of presentation for visual novel.
No, I'm here for it. So I'll give her a not awful voice. It might ruin the comfy vibes, or so I say. For now, I'll try to do
We can feel it out a bit, see what she's like.
Yeah, cutesy. She's cute. I'm sure everyone would be cute, but
probably
cute. The first snow of the year should be a comforting sight, yet this carries a different feeling when so far from home. Ah, yes, it is the narrator. Her. Winter has always been my favorite time of the year, but the joy of warm fires and upcoming holidays is missing. There's only a month left to go until the season begins in earnest, but I can't feel any of the usual excitement. The coming winter will be the first I've spent away from my family, after all. Just me now, standing alone on a concrete balcony and looking out into a gray sky.
We definitely should have played this last year around winter time. Shucks.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay. So you are probably Allison. So it might be a roommate or a landlord or something. Alright, Allison, aren't your classes soon?
Woman's barking from below breaks me out of my thoughts. A familiar figure clad in leather stares up, snow heaped on the rusted shovel in her hands. Looks like the heating's died again. The inside of the apartment no warmer than out there. This new home might be a little shabby, but at least it's ours. A quick glance at my phone, and as I walk to get my coat and bag confirms her to be right. The morning's message from a friend still showing on the screen. The idea of big news at this of all times fills me with worry. I'm already too busy just trying to keep up with my new life.
Big news, Allie. I'll tell you later in bio. Yay, 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 yay.
Yay!
Got a cat mode, got a cat charm. And that's all they really need.
With time marching on, I quickly slip the phone back into my coat and set off for the stairs. I shouldn't have a problem making it to class if I keep a good pace. Man, this is taking me back. The busily shoveling woman is still working away, her efforts obvious to see. Snowfall's been impressive for a single night, but a good amount's already been cleared, her heavy breathing easily visible in the cold air. Keeping a brisk pace as much to get to my classes on time as it is to try and warm myself up. I try to wave a quick goodbye. It's obvious she won't let me go without giving her 2 cents, though, as she puts her shovel against the wall and takes a good stretch. So yeah, I guess that's me. Morning, Rose. Working hard already?
Someone's gotta do it. Not like those useless lumps will.
Rose jerks her head upwards towards the apartments. She's not really wrong, but her usual tactlessness is on full display.
You're all bundled up. Looks like winter's coming early, going by the paper.
I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Just take it easy on the way there, alright?
I will. A weak smile is her response as I start off down the road. She knows that I'm right. This is hardly the first exchange we've had like this. Every other morning, Rose comes up with something or another to definitely not be concerned about. I don't mind, though. That kindness is one of her better traits. The weather's been getting steadily colder for a while now. The few workers braving the morning chill are slowly making their way down to the bus station for work, those staying behind grumbling as they shovel snow from the roofs of their cars and their driveways. There aren't many students down this way as I walk, however. Student accommodation filled up fast, and the nearby apartments were all rented out soon after that. Thank goodness for a family friend offering to let me live with them. Lucky you. Helpful as Rose may be, there's still some sense of being a foreigner. It's only been 2 months since I moved in and started classes at college. My circle of high school friends and boisterous family home turning overnight to a cramped apartment shared between Rose and I.
How traumatizing is this for you, Diva? This is bringing back some PTSD.
Oh, pretty. I thought about that too when I saw this was going to be like a college thing, and I was like, oh boy, this is going to be either really nice or hard, or both.
Triggering.
Probably both. Yeah. As the school buildings come into view, I join the tired masses staggering through the gates and towards their classes. Much as I might worry, I know I'm not alone. I'm sure many of the students around me right now are going through exactly the same thing. Seriously, why did they, God, there was so much snow. There was so much snow in Flagstaff that we had to go to classes in sometimes. And we were lucky they would close the school. But it wasn't often. It's only now that I realize I haven't had my usual morning coffee back at the apartment to wake myself up. Oh wow, this is relevant for you too.
Mm-hmm.
With little time before biology class starts, I'll have to content myself with a quick can of soda from the vending machine. Heading over to the Union building on the way. Oh, there's even that's an all school thing, I guess. All colleges have Union buildings.
I
probably.
cannot tell you.
I don't know. I've only been to the one college, so but I had a Union. The morning chills driven away, the usual gaggle of those sitting on the stairs and blocking the entrance. Rubbing my hands together to summon some warmth, I head on in. With the heating being cranked right up, you could almost forget it's winter outside. My relief doesn't last long, however.
Drink.
My heart nearly stops as a deafening clatter comes from ahead. Oh, this music.
A delinquent.
A couple walking. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
She's in such a nice sweater, I would not.
I know, but the music, though, sounds like... this is what Johnny Spells plays in his head while he walks down the street.
Oh no. It's snapping.
Exactly. See, you get it. You get it.
A couple walking arm in arm skirt around the edge of the room, doing their best to not draw the attention of a blonde woman nearby. She grumbles loudly before delivering another kick to the poor, abused vending machine in front of her. I hate situations like these. Either I do nothing and feel bad for not helping, or step in and deal with the stress that comes from confronting someone involved. As I try to work my way out of this, my heart freezes as the woman locks eyes with me. I must make for a pitiable sight, with my hands raised defensively in front of me, her rage calming as she settles her staring daggers at the machine. Resigned to my fates, I reluctantly shuffle towards her as my heart beats wildly. As I do, her dour look is only made all the more intimidating from the bags under her eyes. Is something wrong?
Mad girl. This stupid thing ate my money. No can or change at all. Threw $5 in there too.
Ah, the vending machine here messes up sometimes. It's usually better to go through to the cafeteria for drinks.
I should fix it then.
Recounting the event only serves to stir up her annoyance, another foot being jammed into the accused. The horrible noise makes me cringe again, and I'm starting to worry she'll hurt herself as much as the machine itself. Don't kick it again.
Well, why not? Thing's already broken, isn't it?
I want to say that I'd rather not get in trouble with the staff, but I get the feeling that wouldn't faze her. Reviewing my options as quickly as I can, there's only one solution I can think of that might settle her down. I probably shouldn't, but if nobody's paying much attention... Which drink did you want? She gives me a curious look after I manage to squeak the words out, but eventually points.
Was just grabbing a lemonade on the way out.
Could you turn around for a moment? With great reluctance, she turns away as I ask. I doubt she could work out what I'm doing by looking, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Closing my eyes and silently mouthing the right sequence to make sure I don't mess it up, I go about my business. Any luck, the software inside hasn't been updated since I last tested this.
She's about to hack the mainframe.
She is. A long sigh of relief passes my lips as the vending machine rattles away, loudly dumping a can into the small opening. Holding the can before the blonde woman's face as she turns back around, her reward is a somewhat impressed expression as she takes the item. Now that she has her drink, and had a chance to get her frustration out of her system, she seems to be calming a little. Her height doesn't help her look any less intimidating, though. With that, I consider the matter settled as I nod and begin to walk away. Only as I leave do I realize my heart's racing after having to deal with her.
Hey, wait up!
Judging from my instinctual response, I pretend not to hear as I skitter away and disappear back through the entrance.
Cabedon! Oh, or not.
Nope. The cold hits me like a wall as I leave through the door. I hardly mind, heaving a sigh to steady myself as I head towards classes. I only remember now that I intended to grab a drink myself, but fiddling with the machines probably made me too late. The empty campus grounds make me nervous, making me take my phone in hand to check the time. A quick glance is all that's needed to send me dashing towards the sciences building. Yeah. It's going to be one of those days.
Did you have to do that at college, Diva? Did you have to hack vending machines for delinquents?
You know, I've thankfully never, at least not that I can think of, had my money taken from me. They did have the vending machines that, like, took your ID, though, and your ID had the dining dollars that you could use to get drinks and whatever, snacks. So, that was nice. Panting for the run, I stagger into biology class with as much composure as I can muster. The sight seems to make a pitiable impression on the professor, who merely nods for me to take a seat. Setting my bag next to me, I quickly take the seat next to a now familiar figure. The diminutive Caprice?
Capiche.
Shoots a grin.
Capiche. Clearly.
I mean, it's. I think it's her name, though. And I wave as I sit, earning a smile in return. It's nice to see a friendly face. You said there's no real roots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna get... Like, the game will choose our best girl for us.
Mm-hmm.
As the professor gets back to lecturing, I grab my still pristine textbook from my bag, flicking through to the bookmark I'd added for where we currently are. Movement from the corner of my eye takes my attention, the ripped piece of sketch pad sliding before me. Oh wow, that's cute. Her writing is surrounded by various doodles and scribbles already on the page. I should pay attention to the class, but it isn't that easy to wave Caprice off.
Oh no, your perfect attendance record. What happened?
Then again, this is largely reviewing what we covered in high school right now. It probably wouldn't hurt to chat with her for a bit. Got held up with someone.
Who needs to text in class when you can put on your own emojis on a notepad?
Indeed.
Very cute.
I write a brief reply and a little accompanying drawing before sliding it back over. A quick look to the professor, making sure the coast is clear as he drones on. Reese's reply as the page is passed back makes me grimace. I should have expected that.
The thinking emoji, I suppose.
Just like, oh ho, like smug.
Mm-hmm.
He also planned fundraising the professor casting a knowing glance my way as he continues with his teaching. You knew what we were doing, didn't you?
You are suddenly very quiet.
Oh, yeah?
Now you're
better?
Yeah.
I'm using my earbuds, so I was kind of leaning on them in a way. Thinking better of it, I tuck the page beneath my textbook and start listening properly. I don't need to look at Caprice to know her reaction. I hardly think worse of her for it, though. Swapping doodles during these classes was always how she broke the ice with me when I was just another lonely freshman student. A shy one at that. Given we're still friends, I suppose it worked. Sneaking a glance back at the page beneath my book reminds me how well the mercurial girl can draw, at least compared to me. She mentioned one time that she's also taking art classes, which must be paying off.
Subject to sudden or unpredictable changes of mood or mind. Mercurial.
New word. Before I know it, the class starts winding up. The other students begin to get distracted as time goes on, the professor soon starting to wrap things up in response. No sooner do the words come from his mouth that the class is over, does the loud clatter of people packing books and pens into their bags and backpacks begin. Oh, there's your pouting face.
She's very cute.
It's always gotta be one. The priest wastes no time in talking as the two of us do the same.
I was worried you were sick today, Allie.
It was only a couple of minutes.
For you, that's a lot.
She has a point. It's likely I was more concerned about this than the teacher. After near perfect attendance. Concerned about this than the teacher. The attendant,
Yeah, her friend, basically.
After near perfect attendance through high school go, the last thing I want is to set a bad expectation for the staff here. Setting that aside, I'm not sure the professor really likes us passing notes to each other in class.
Oh, don't worry about him. He's cool. We've talked. Wink.
Well, if you're sure, I do like seeing your drawings.
Aw, and I like seeing yours. I'm glad you're here today, actually. I've been thinking, and I need your help with something. We're making an art club.
But there's already an art. Wait, why is there a we there? How am I part of this?
You're a founding member, of course. Wink.
Why do I get the feeling Caprice has been mulling this over in her head for ages? plans seem to already be in motion for her, and I'm not sure what choice I have left in this. I'm left to mull things over as I take my coat from the back of my seat and slip it on. The two of us taking our bags and joining the others and heading out into the hallway. I hadn't even considered joining a club, let alone starting one up with all the work that entailed. I can help, but I have my schoolwork to concentrate on, you know? Getting a scholarship wasn't easy, and I'd rather not waste it.
Right. You're majoring in chemistry, weren't you?
I give a nod, albeit a slightly guilty one. Not that I dare have told my family, but I only picked chemistry because I happen to be good at it. Like most things in life, I just went with the default option before me. At least Caprice seems to have moved on from me being a part of this. And it's going on in my life between moving to a new home and studying for college. Think about spending time and things.
You are once again very quiet.
I'm not allowed to lay on my side.
No,
while I do
you
this
cannot be comfy.
No.
Are you sure? Do you want to do this later? It sounds like you're pretty tired. I don't want to keep you up if you're not wanting to.
No, I'm good. I just I wanted to be comfortable in my bed. Ugh.
The game is the only source of comfort you're allowed. You cannot actually be physically comfortable.
Hold on, let me add the other earbud, and maybe that'll, if I'm wearing the right earbud and laying on my right side. So if I lay on my right side but wear the left earbud. Okay, do I sound good? Gabe?
Huh?
Do I sound good?
You sound a little far away, but I can hear you.
Alright, you know what? I'll just use my mic. That's fine. I'll use my legit mic. And then that'll probably solve everything. Cause I should have just did that in the first place. Earbuds are good for like having the audio in my ear.
You do that. I'm gonna grab my water real quick. I am dying. I don't know why.
Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I good? Do I sound okay?
You still sound far away.
Why? I have my mic plugged in now. I can lay on my side and do this. This is the best. Alright. That's me.
I'm surprised you're taking biology classes, to be honest. Aren't you more into art?
It's hard to pick a favorite, but right now, bio is just the entry-level stuff. It's so boring, right? I talked to the professor, though, and we're getting into some marine life chapters soon.
That seems very specific.
It's the most interesting part. I gotta focus hard when we get there. I plan on making my major.
So even a free spirit like Caprice has something she's working towards. It seems I can't get away from how much of a mess my life is. With no idea what I want to do for a career.
Oh no.
And before this becomes Dandelion, but without the animals.
I don't know if I know that one.
I think you have to. I think you remember because it was Dodger. Dodger played it.
Dandelion. Visual novel. Without the animals? Dandelion. Dandelion wishes brought to you?
Yes.
Oh, she played that with Cry too. Damn.
I might have missed this one.
I
do remember this now. I think I've seen the highlights of it because I do remember this was always a comment on like some. God, I haven't watched Dodger in forever. On some of her videos, it's always, "When's Dandelion coming back with Cry? When are you Cry gonna do more Dandelion?"
I remember those. Yeah.
And obviously, you know, never now because I don't think she does. She might still do streams, but she's not doing YouTube anymore, and Cry doesn't exist. So that's never happening. But yeah, I remember seeing highlights and stuff from it. I don't think I ever watched a full playthrough. I also don't think I knew that there were cats and rabbits. Maybe I did and I forgot. I don't know.
Spoilers, but not really, because that's the whole point of the game. It's about this girl. She's like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Oh, I moved here from Boosin, but I'm so blah. And then she gets.
If only I had a cute anime boy to be my pet and also tell me what to do with my life.
Yeah, basically. But then there was like a whole fantasy thing going on. It was a crazy game.
Fruits baskets, light, or maybe not light.
Yeah, kind of. The two of us head outside with our next classes in other buildings. As we do, I look about orderly as students from the other classes pass by. I'd rather not bump into that angry woman again.
Who are you held up with anyway? Pointing to a friend? Wink.
You know, when you say wink, it doesn't really do what you think it does. But that would require there to be another beyond her in the first place. She's about the last person I'd call a friend. Kind of scary, actually. She might have been asking out of small talk before, but now I have her full interest. With reluctance, I think back to the event. I'm not sure if you'd know her. Tall, blonde, green eyes, very sharp look, with high boots. Kinda pretty, but she could totally step on me, and I'd probably say thank you. But now that I have time to think it through, she was quite beautiful. And more than her body, too. I liked her sense of fashion. God, that sweater was so cute.
I think I know who you're talking about, actually. She's the resident delinquent.
Yeah, that tracks. That's what this kind of game is, right? They are delinquents here, in college.
Here's the twist. She's our other founding member. Wink.
No way. She hasn't dropped the idea of me joining at all, and now wants her of all people to be part of this. And reaction to the news apparently shows in my face.
If we're thinking of the same person, I've seen her around and I've heard some things. She floats around the art department a lot, so the other art clubs try to grab her. She didn't even pretend to consider it, she just told them to get lost. Which means she's still free.
If she already rejected one club, why would she join another?
Because it's led by me, of course.
I need to get to my next class. Being late for one today is already too much. Resigned to my fate, I wave goodbye and start to head off. Not more than a couple of seconds later, I hear her calling out behind me.
Before you go, meet me on the second floor of the arts building after classes, okay? We need to get started on finding a club room and stuff.
Looks like I'm gonna be a part of this scheme, whether I like it or not. Dealing with that woman again makes me shudder, but she'll surely just reject Caprice, and that'll be that. Walking through the halls at these hours is a wholly different experience to the normal hustle and bustle.
You guys can be at Christmas again in like 3 months.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Just what the fuck? I don't understand.
I was thinking that too when you were like, we should have played this around Christmas. I was like, it's not that far off.
It shouldn't be.
Like,
I feel like we just had that. I feel like it happened. Like, you know, like how I feel 2019 just happened. But it didn't just happen. We just lost part of our 20s. That's fine. Whatever. Nah, we shouldn't go down that rabbit hole. Talking about college and stuff again is already gonna make us triggered, but
I know, I don't appreciate it. Stop. I'm kidding. This is the moment.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was mostly joking. but sorry, not sorry. Where students gossiped in the hallways, organized dates, and hurried between classes with arms full of overpriced textbooks. There's now a sweet silence. all to be seen at this hour is the odd straggler thinking more about dinner than schoolwork. Yeah, that's me. That was me. That was always me. Well, them and the Christmas decorations. I get the feeling that the arts and humanities staff take some enjoyment out of getting ready for the occasion. Much like the school itself, the decorations look a bit ragged, probably hauled out every year for decades. Do we know where this is taking place?
I don't think they've said in-game yet. Let me see if the Steam page says anything. Also, weird tidbit, but I actually like that the school is kind of like not super pretty. Like, I like the aesthetic of the game, but I like that it's not like typical anime high school where everything is like super clean and decked out and like up to date and everything.
For sure.
I just like pretty barren, just kind of whatever, a little bit meekish rundown.
It really does look a lot like NAU, like different colored like walls and stuff, but like the layout is pretty spot on.
Yeah, I don't.
Not that NAU is probably special.
No, yeah, for sure. It just seems pretty grounded, but I don't think that it's gonna say where. I don't think it really matters where it takes place.
Okay, I was just wondering because like all that snow, like if we were gonna get like it's a New York kind of snow, or is it like a Flagstaff kind of snow where it doesn't snow except a specific time of the year, and then when it does, it can get pretty awful. Yeah. With little to do until Caprice shows up, exploring the arts building and peering into this classroom where that winds up passing the time. Heading up the stairs, I take my time strolling through the hallways. Everything is bathed in the orange of the sunset. Quiet of the halls, giving the building a serene atmosphere. It's calming after the day's events. It isn't until a good few minutes pass that I find the first thing of much interest, a single room with the door left open. With curiosity getting the better of me, I stroll up the hallway and gingerly step inside. At least I can close the door for them. Except what I really do is snoop. With only a handful of chairs actually set against tables, I think the room unused if not for the paints, papers, and sketchbooks strewn across the tops of the cupboards. If Caprice wanted a club room, this would be as good as any. As I peer about, the sight of one particular canvas amongst it all catches my attention. The painting of a woman standing in water sits drying on the easel, the painter's utensils still lying about. Stepping up to look at it, I'm surprised by how old-fashioned it is, with the kind of oil painting that would be drawn a century or so ago. Every brushstroke and line has depth to it, the painter's every movement clearly visible. I find myself struck by its beauty, time slipping by me as I stare. Soft-looking skin and flowing locks of hair are enough to make me wistfully sigh, Grace telling her free spirit. Also her boobs. It's beautiful. If she wasn't gonna say it, I'm gonna say it.
I guess I should have mentioned there is. I mean, you probably saw on the Steam page. It's not like it's an eroge or anything. And like, I don't think it has like explicit sex scenes or whatever, but it does have like a partial nudity warning or whatever. So I do see boobs clearly.
Yes. Thoughts are suddenly interrupted by the creaking of the door opening further, causing me to whip around in fright. I wasn't staring at boobs. Oh, I'm gonna stare at your boobs. And then look up. she does kind of give up. Well, no, she's not happy enough to give up the Ara.
Just the body type is the Ara body type, but everything else personality-wise is delinquent.
The sweater specifically is what's giving me. You know what? It reminds me of oh, what was her name from Valhalla? It starts with a D. Dana?
Yeah, Dana. Boss.
No, not Dana.
Alma.
No, it starts with an A.
Alma,
yeah.
Alma. Armitage. Or Armitage, however that was pronounced. I don't know if we ever figured it out. But yeah. Alma.
The particular person standing in the doorway looking straight at me does nothing to settle my racing heart, much less the fact that I'm not even supposed to be in here staring at boobs. Sorry. I mean... I quickly try to stammer out something, but the words keep catching in my throat.
This vending machine girl.
Allison. Allison Merlot.
So, you have a name. I'm Eileen Turner, for what it's worth.
I quickly nod. For all my nervousness about maybe being somewhere I shouldn't, Eileen doesn't actually seem to care that much. In fact, she almost looks bored. If this room's used by a bunch of people, there's a good chance she might not know I'm an intruder.
I'm gonna close the place up. If you want anything, you should grab it. Not that I think you have anything here.
The cold edge to her voice freezes my entire body. I mean, I can explain.
Boobs.
Woman, boobs. Eileen narrows her eyes and crosses her arm, waiting for my response. A response which is interrupted by a familiar voice booming from the entrance.
Hey, Allie!
Oh, I don't think I've ever been so glad to see Caprice. Given this art club business was her idea, it's for the best if she explains it all. Eileen doesn't look impressed as Caprice skips into the room, looking this way and that like some tourist.
Good work! You already found us a room! This'll work perfectly! So, Caprice got herself a new goon. I wish I was surprised. Yep!
What? You're not supposed to agree with that. I'm not a goon.
And what do you want this room for, pray tell? Well... the current art club is awful, I'm sure you know. So instead of dealing with them, we're gonna form our own. And it looks like you and Ellie have found us a club room. This time, it's gonna be a matriarchy.
Oh, I see what's happened here now. Caprice engineered the situation so we'd all be here together. This isn't a very subtle scheme, but that's all the more reason for her to have come up with it. I try my best to backpedal, and in a way that won't upset either. I just thought we'd draw a bit. Didn't mean to intrude.
I got permission to use this room to practice my painting, not for some dumb club. Sorry, but it's 2 against 1. Majority rule.
I didn't say anything about a club.
Well, too bad. This isn't a matriarchy, it's a dictatorship.
Eileen stands her ground, staring down her opponent as I try my best to stay well out of their argument. The result doesn't last long, though. Realizing the futility of it, she eventually heaves a sigh at Caprice's antics. I can't say I wholly blame her. I did the same thing.
I just want to work in peace. That isn't much to ask. But I'm going. Not going to get anything more done today anyway. Thanks to somebody.
Cute scarf. Eileen turns to me after picking up her coat from a desk and pulling her scarf around her, rather pointedly being finished with Caprice.
See you around, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. At a loss for how I'm supposed to respond to such an unenthusiastic tone, I'm left standing silently by as a frustrated Eileen throws her backpack over her shoulder and strides out. Caprice just smiles and shrugs as she looks back to me, the argument they had just moments ago flowing off her like water on a duck's back.
Well, that's how it is.
I feel like I got dragged into something. I definitely got dragged into something.
I didn't really think that'd work, but it was worth a try.
not listening to me at all. Am I really just an instrument to try and win this argument between them? No, I can't think that. Caprice is forceful, but she means well. If this did end up being a club, I'd probably enjoy it. Caprice certainly wouldn't make it dull, and I think if Eileen got to know me, she'd be nicer to me. But I don't want to risk Eileen getting even more annoyed with me. It feels like I've been left to hunker down in a foxhole in no man's land, and all I can do right now is hold my helmet on tight. As the orange of the sunset starts to wane outside, it becomes obvious that nothing more is going to get done today, just as Eileen said. I'd better head home. It's getting late. See you tomorrow.
See ya! If you ever want to drive, feel free to stop by the new club room. Wink.
Precisely none of what Eileen said penetrated, did it? I just give a weak smile as I wave and take my bag, probably wondering if Rose will be cooking something for dinner or bringing home takeout. It's something more heartening to think about than today's efforts anyway. Thinking about food did get me through some long days. I feel that. As I collapse onto the couch and settle in, the deafening sound of silence rushes in. The odd passing car from the street below the apartment only highlights the quiet of the room. Plugging my phone from my pocket after dropping my bag on the cushion beside me, I take quick note of the time. I guess Rose got stuck in traffic. An annoying train of thought starts up once again as I put it away. One that's crept up on me occasionally ever since moving out, just waiting for when nothing's around to distract me. I can cope with the schoolwork easily enough. It's mostly just review right now. People like Caprice might be a handful, but they do liven up the day's routine. It's a fair distance to campus from here, but the walk helps keep me fit. Oh, that was, yeah. That was it. It didn't work out or anything. I just walked everywhere.
Diva, that mom that's going to tell her kids, back in my day when I had to get to school, I climbed up frozen mountainsides and walked 30 miles to my classes in the middle of a blizzard.
Definitely not. Well, actually, there was a good snowstorm or two that we had to be forced to trek through, and the buses wouldn't run, so you had to walk. Oh, the silence. That I can't deal with. Grabbing the remote and clicking on the television at least provides some background noise, but a sterile replacement for the sounds of home. There's no mother busying herself over the cooking pot to welcome me home and ask how my day was. No excitable older brothers fighting about this silly thing or that. No father for me to happily see come home from work. It's just me now. My fingers roll over the screen in thought as it brings up the lock screen, mindlessly tracing out the cracks in the bottom corner. I could easily call them right now. My mom and dad both made it clear I could ring any time at all. But as I stare at the screen, a deep apathy strikes me. Before college, I thought that with my family and old friends just a phone call away, nothing would feel all that different. Maybe I just couldn't admit to myself how big of a change this would really be. Admitting defeat, the phone ends up on the couch beside me as I watch television. The news is interesting today, so at least it's some distraction from all this. Just when I thought I'd finally found a friend or two in college, it ends up being a mess. Why do people have to be so complicated? As the door behind me opens, I close my thoughts on the subject. There's no point in mulling things over any further. Act 1 Art Matters. Was that the act, or is this
Yeah,
gonna
the
be the act?
prologue, or was it the... I don't know.
Saturday's morning air is brisk as I stagger back from the supermarket, hands full with bags. The apartment itself may be nothing to write home about, but it's certainly in good location. I still don't feel like I've been pulling my weight when it comes to daily life with Rose, but at least I can help with the errands like groceries. Her attempts to teach me handiwork skills have been less successful. Even this much, it's been a learning experience. My parents usually doing the shopping back when I lived with them. Reaching the apartment, I find Rose crouched outside and working on her motorbike. She looks perfectly content as she whiles away her time with tools spread around her, as if a child happily playing with their favorite toys. Working on the bike again?
Oh, hey, that was quick.
She levers herself up with a grunt before pulling back the edge of one bag.
My back.
With a fingered period, like an old lady. Then another. She's a family friend? Is that what it was?
That's what they made it sound like.
I'm a little worried as she checks over my work. I've told my brother that she does isn't exactly helping. Still not used to the acrid smell of her smoking, but maybe that's a good thing.
Good work. Everything we needed, and no weird impulse buys. Do we need more window cleaner, though?
You said to grab necessities if they're on sale and don't spoil, right?
Oh, you're learning. Could you help me down here once you put everything away? I need another set of hands.
Not anything in particular planned for today. I agree before heading inside. The rickety stairs creak as I slowly head up with groceries in hand, fumbling with the door handle. My arms are thankful for the relief once I manage to drop the bags in the apartment after opening the door. Opening the fridge, I get to work stuffing in the frozen and cold items first. Next, I open the cabinet doors and start loading in the cans and boxes. As the empty shelves fill, I get an odd sense of satisfaction from caring for myself. Yeah, I know that feel.
Yeah. Wow, I can't buy food like a real adult.
Go me! Living as an adult is busy work, but it's rewarding in its own way.
No, it isn't.
There's not an unexpected feeling of accomplishment from doing even simple tasks.
No, there isn't.
I'm sure it'll wear off in time, but I'm holding on to it for now.
Sure.
I don't know if I didn't wear off for me today. That's another thing to declare, even though I didn't declare anything. I
should I ask you, right? Sorry.
My dad. Oh, it's fine. You don't have to. I didn't even consider mentioning it. But I went to the store today, and I drove there and back, and I didn't die. So yeah. And I bought groceries.
Up and clapped.
Indeed, I bought the groceries. I bought stuff for work because my mom's still out of town. So it's just me and my dad, and she's
so
the one who
you
normally
are
does.
the woman of the house.
Exactly. So I cooked dinner for me and my dad today. And by dinner, I mean quesadillas, but still, I cooked, even if it was something simple. So yeah. With the job done, I close the cabinets and get back up to look about the room. The apartment is barely any warmer inside than out. I suppose there are downsides as well as upsides. Putting it out of mind as best I can, I head back down to Rose. Slipping back outside and closing the door behind me, Familiar clangs and bangs carry on the air as Rose still works away.
Pass a rag, would you?
I quickly take a seat near her on a patch cleared of snow, grabbing one of the turn-up pieces of old shirt and handing it to her. She seems to be cleaning out some part of the engine or another.
Anything interesting happen at school?
I almost got beat up by a girl that could totally step on me. But not really. The schoolwork isn't too hard so far. Also, a friend wants to start a club.
A club, huh? Well, that's cool. What kind?
An art club, apparently. I'm not really sold on it, though. I need to study, and she basically came up with the whole idea by herself.
Ah, so she's the fun one.
Wow. Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. Rose passes the rag back and puts the part in place, motioning for— oh, fuck. Nope, my hand. My hand's not tangled in my hair. It's fine. Motioning for me to hold it while she wrenches it back in. After a few grunts, the job appears to be done as she puts the wrench down with a clunk and turns back toward me.
Life's not about studying. I know you were a teacher's pet back in high school, but you could stand to be a little bit more social.
So it's this again. We're a dandelion again. This is another downside of living here. With so much of my life spent alone with Rose, there's, for better or worse, no easy way to escape her questioning. I know she has my best interest in mind, though. I'm glad to have someone around to help me get to grips with adult life, even if I did find her intimidating at first. Who don't you find intimidating? What was your college life like?
Never had the chance to go?
I'm not a little surprised as she gets back to her bike. I've only known Rose for a couple of months now, so I'm still finding out new things about her all the time.
Maybe you get why I'm on your case about this stuff now. Not everyone gets the chances you have, so make the most of it. Go to parties, get some friends, find a boyfriend sometime. Even if it don't last, it'll be a start.
I think I can do 2 of the 3 of those things. My family always pushed me to put such things aside and focus on my education, so that's what I did. The simplicity of life back then suited me just fine, and it worked out well going by my scholarship. I was never really interested in boys because I was so caught up in learning, or so I say, is what I'd like to say. I do, is what I'd like to say. But I'm honest enough with myself to know that's not the whole story.
Boys are icky. Except for when they're not.
Yeah. Seeing Eileen last week reminded me of that. Women like her keep catching my eye. And then there was that painting of hers. As time goes on, that difference in what I like looking at gets harder and harder to explain away.
Have you met Dorothea in Fire Emblem yet?
Yes.
I'm trying to fucking
Yes, I
find.
have.
There's this this incredible fan art, like meme of her that I saw forever ago, where it's just her like 2 frames where it's one and she just says girls and it's like confident and cocky, and then the next frame is her saying women and she's like in tears over it, and it's so fucking funny to me and I cannot find it now and it's driving me crazy. I just love the transition of her being like girls and then in tears women. Yeah, I'm not doing it justice.
Hashtag relatable. No, I definitely hear it. Hashtag, especially because Dorothy is definitely that is a good fit for her, probably.
Yeah,
I don't
100%
spend that much time with her.
You
But
should, she's great. Whoops.
I know she's probably awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen or heard something that she's like, is she one of the love interest choices for if you play, Bill?
Yeah, she's a love interest choice for basically everybody. Like she's
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's horny on main. Like either female choice or male choice, she's a love interest for either professor or anybody. Like if you spend time with her, you'll see. But yeah, she's just
Can you? Oh, that's something that I've been meaning to ask you too. So I know I've gotten the vibe, and I think I've only seen things that didn't really confirm it, but I get the vibe that this is like a Harvest Moon situation, where if you unlock enough events, you can make couples.
It's kind of spoilery to get into it. It's not gonna be something that you'll. I don't know how it is in Harvest Moon, but it's not like in previous games. There was mechanics where like you would make couples like in the throughout the game, and then they would have like units together as like children and stuff or something. I don't really know, but in this game it's not. There's nothing really like that affects gameplay or the story for the most part. And getting into it is kind of like it enters some spoiler territory. So I don't know if you really want me to get into it. But, I would say it's probably not like the Harvest Moon thing. Even though I don't know much about that, I feel pretty confident in saying that it's probably not like that.
In Harvest Moon, if you sometimes like do certain quests for the characters, you can help boost their friendship with one another, and then if you like enter like certain areas at certain times, like you can see a scene. If you unlock enough of those special scenes,
there's definitely stuff
start
like
dating and even get married.
Yeah, so nothing that like definitively changes the relationships for the most part, but there is stuff where like you've seen like the ranks and like the side story stuff at this point, right? Where it's like you spend time with,
they're kind of like confidants, but like
there's those with the teachers, and then there's also those with the students between each other. So like they'll have ones like that with you, and then there'll be ones like that with like, you know, who's in Claude's house, where like Ignis and fucking it's like Ash. No, it's Ash. I don't know if Ash. Who's in Claude's house? Hilda or something can like have a conversation with each other without the teacher there. And then, like, they'll kind of get boosts and stuff in the battlefield when they're near each other. But they won't, like, start dating if you max out their ranks or anything like that, necessarily.
Oh, darn. Alright, well, that's kind of good to know. I'm glad, because that would have been a lot of work. Yeah. To, like, try to... Because I would... You know, absolutely, I would have been, like, trying to ship everyone together. Yeah. But it would have been taking even longer. Also... Fucking Dimension 20 has ruined Hilda for me. I cannot see her name or see her experience. Hilda.
That's fine. I keep calling her Hilda.
I call her Hilda all the time in my head.
That's so funny. I see her. I definitely did not have that problem when I played. But it doesn't help that Hilda's a joke in multiple senses.
It's so... At first I was like, oh god, she's so annoying, but like she's just became such a meme that I have to have her on every squad like time that I'm fighting. She's like a tank. I think it's so funny.
No, she is. She's like that's like her whole thing is that she's super like good at her job. She just doesn't care and does not apply herself at all. She's just like, I'd rather not. So funny.
She's always like, she's like, can I stay home? I'm super weak, alright? You don't need someone like me. And then like, I'm just like,
and she's one-shotting like all her enemies and everything.
I was like, bitch, where? You literally helped me out. Like, that last one.
That's
great.
The whole thing, yeah, for sure.
It's a great game. Anyway, tangent aside, I'm gay. Anyway, that's
like, I
in
can't,
the game.
Yeah, no, literally, it's like, I don't think it's, I mean, you know, women, and she's like, oh, you know what, thinking back on all these video games I played where I was spending a lot of time with all these women characters, and like really into them and stuff, did I like Hilda? Like, did I like her? Is that what was happening when I was a kid?
Nah, couldn't be. Nah. I like boys.
Yeah.
X2.
I related to Dorothy because she was funny and a disaster, not because she was into everybody she met, right? She just had gal pals, I think.
I also watched a meme video about Sylvain, and how quickly he joins if you're a female.
If you're a female, he'll just straight up join your house, yeah.
He was the first person I got to recruit because I was honestly, I asked everyone, No one ever. Still, the only other person that managed to come
yeah, you're gonna have
on
to
my
put
side
in
was
some
Anna.
work first, definitely.
Yeah, but Sylvain was the first and not the last. Anna, but still, I was like so surprised because I was like, wow, is the game giving me a freebie or?
Yep.
It's like no,
Because
it's
of gender.
because he's a simp.
Hmm.
He's a simp. Anyway.
Oh, this is me. Rag,
Yeah.
Allison, I can see that you're off in the... Okay, she's gone. She gone.
Thinking about girls. I hastily place a rag in her outstretched hand. Rose using it to try and rub some of the oil and grease off of her hands. I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I'm not straight, if that's truly the case. While I'd like to talk with her about it, I can never quite seem to find the right time.
Gotta love that. Just casually bring it up to your home provider or whatever. You alright? Hey, can we kiss? I just need to check something.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about girls. I mean, how life is complicated.
Oh, yeah, sure is. Hey, you bought that?
There's no way Rose is straight, too. I'm just gonna throw it out there. There's no way!
She's a fucking... What is that, like, stereotype? Like the butch... Not quite the butch size, but she's a fucking, like, biker working on her engine and everything. She's like...
She is... You know what she reminds me of? So I was watching this, Thai, fucking Thai BL, and what's her fucking name? I just have to check my chats with Israel because I brought her up and she is like the definition of bi energy, and then they just casually threw it out that like she's like, oh yeah, no, I used to date girls, and I was like, I felt so validated. I was like, I saw it from a mile away.
I can see that you're off thinking about girls again, but did you buy that ice cream I asked for while you were out?
Did I buy the what?
Ice cream. I asked you to buy ice cream while you were out.
Oh. No. I didn't. Ugh. Hold on, I'm still searching. I know it's right there. If I just search... I found it. I just have to... Okay. Wait, this is the GIF. I just needed to find the GIF. This is the GIF. I'm gonna copy the link. Hopefully copying the link will post the GIF. I think. Because I don't remember what I searched to find it. Yep. So, this housing is straight up.
Yep. Also, like, what's her face from that one? For the Chinese Yuri thing, webtoon, that I can't remember the name of. With the red head and the gray hair girl.
Yeah. I introduced that to you, didn't I? I wish I remembered what it was called.
I cannot remember it either, but yeah. Very much that energy for sure. She's pretty.
She is. Good drama, by the way. It had its ups and downs, but it was fine. The ending could have been better, but it was fine. It's in the freezer now. Why?
How about we have some? Give you a treat after working all morning on this thing.
She has strange ideas about what makes a good dessert in the cold winter, but I'm not going to stop her. As the two of us start packing up, another peaceful day rolls by. A loud yawn from Rose emanates from the couch, the droning of the television briefly overshadowed. The only other sound is the coffee pot boiling away from the kitchen, punctuated by the occasional passing car. Only half awake and still acting on autopilot, I lazily wipe the sleep from my eyes as I stagger toward the door. The smell of Rose's toast wafts invitingly through the air, making me envious of her later start to work. I let out a loud yawn before I can stifle it, causing Rose to look over from the couch.
Oh god.
She's got a tattoo!
Yep. Wow.
Jeez.
You look like hell.
And you look like an icon. Thanks.
I woke up like this.
Yeah.
You stay up too late playing on your phone or something. Doesn't look like you got a wink of sleep.
Well, Rose is less than tactful about this. It's true that I shouldn't be so tired. I'm usually a morning person, but right now I could barely remember where I even put my phone. Rose picks herself up from the couch as she finishes her breakfast, brushing toast crumbs off herself as she starts towards the kitchen. Just the neighbors being loud again. I'm surprised you didn't hear them. I may say that, but it's hardly any real shock. She sleeps like a log, which I've always been jealous about. Rose puts down the plate in her hand, giving the matter more thought than I'd intended.
The ones above us, right? Man, I'm sick of them. I'll go off and talk to them later today and get them to knock it off. Making a racket during the day is one thing, but the night's another.
You don't have to do that. You might be quiet from now on anyway. She looks surprisingly disappointed at my attempts to wave off her concern.
You have to stand up for yourself sometimes, Allison. Waiting for things to blow over ain't always gonna work.
I wind up rubbing my neck and avoid outright answering. Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. Apparently, dropping the topic, she sighs and disappears into the kitchen after taking her plate again. I just don't want to cause a fuss, especially on my behalf. Is that really so bad? Time rolling by, I glance about and see my phone on the corner of the table. Slipping it into my coat pocket, I skip over and grab my bag sitting by the door. As I stretch a bit to try and wake myself up before facing the cold outside, Rose calls out from behind me. Turning to see her shows a fistful of crumpled dollar bills in the hand thrust out towards me.
Yeah, I picked up some kid's lunch money. Yeah, go buy yourself an espresso or something on the way.
Oh, I can't let you be my sugar mommy. You don't have to.
Just take it. You look awful. You need a coffee. Ain't nobody, man or woman, is gonna be into you when you look like shit. She really does have a way
with words. She gets me.
Oh, that's great.
I reluctantly take the cash and slip it into my pocket, thanking Rose as I leave. As soon as I get out the door, the weather hits me. Looks like it's going to be a harsh winter this year, with the cold of the snow dumping down being made all the worse by the chilly fog hanging in the air. Days like these, like, hot chocolate, man, was a godsend. Twisting my head to and fro to bury it in my scarf a little better, I set off down the road with hands firmly lodged in my coat pockets. There don't seem to be many people around that are braving the weather, not that I blame them. Also remembering that you're in Colorado and you can get all the snow you want. Boom. As the muffled sound of snow under tires rings out, a garbage truck rumbles by. It's only after a worrying few seconds that I remember I did indeed put the garbage out for collection yesterday. Reaching the campus, the welcome sight of a cafe nearby lifts my spirits. I've overheard students mention the coffee here is good, and it's conveniently right next to campus. It looks homely enough from the outside. It only has a handful of people out inside at this hour as I peer through the windows. With a quick brush of fallen snow off my shoulders and bag, I take a breath and walk in.
God, I was so comfy.
Yup. A bell above the door rings out as I enter. The smell of coffee on the air combining with the homely styling inside, making for an immediately cozy atmosphere. See? The game knows.
Vibes.
I don't think I should mention this, but I did in fact include cafe scene in Arcane Gaze that I might have to get rid of, but because I'm not sure how to incorporate.
You fucking dare.
I honestly, like, as I've said, I have no idea where the story is going. I just wanted to write a comfy coffee scene, and I put it in there.
Do it.
I don't know how it relates to the story.
It doesn't have to. Who fucking cares? I told half of the shit in the 100 bajillion words that I've written for my stupid magical thing is just slice of life shit. Put in a goddamn coffee scene.
But it makes sense. It develops the characters. That's
so
fine.
does yours, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. I guess if that's the only purpose it serves, then fine. I wrote it and then I was like, I'm gonna keep writing about them being in this fucking coffee shop. No other purpose. I have no idea. Like that's why I stopped writing. After I got to that point, I started writing with them talking in the coffee place. I didn't know what else to put. I hit a writer's block and I just stopped. Yep. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Just
leave it in there at least long enough that I can read it. You swear to God, if you tell me that you have this and then you're like, nah, not gonna do it. I will kill everybody in my building and then myself. And it will be your fault. I'm going to spell out your name in their blood and then kill me right next to it. Say Diva Farrell was here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it in. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Fucking.
I
what did I do to deserve that threat from you? Hey, by the way, I made a coffee shop scene. You can't read it though. I'm gonna delete it. I just wanted you to know that I did it, and you don't get fucked off.
I'm basically using it as a setting for exposition. That's the best I got for you, Gabe.
Fine. You can tell me it's a setting for nothing. You can say I'm actually I'm regressing. We made a bunch of progress, and I'm making it all go backwards here in this coffee shop. We're like, cool. I don't care. Coffee scene with a bunch of the dorks. Fine by me. I don't care what's going on. Fucking. I don't know if I can keep it in. You're dumb. You're dumb, and I like you.
I'm gonna keep it in. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. It's not like I want to keep it in too. It's just if I come up with a better way to the story, I'm gonna choose probably. No, I don't know if I'll choose it over. Like I said, it started because I wanted the coffee scene, and then I found a way to make it relevant to exposition. And then I was like, is this just dumb? I don't know, but good to know. I'll keep it in. I'm sorry for baiting you. I wasn't even sure if I should mention it, but it's relevant in this situation. So, joining the couple of people of mine, I quickly rehearsed the order in my mind to make sure I get it right. Also relatable. The barista's nice smile towards the other patrons keeps making me trip over myself, and I've never been great in dealing with strangers. Coming to the front of the line, I managed to blurt out my order of a latte with sugar before I could mess it up. She smiles and takes my payment, leaving me to wait to the side as it's prepared. I've told you about my fine dining and breathing moment, right? Inside a Starbucks?
Sounds familiar. I'm not sure why. What is...
Oh, no, it's just because, I mean, it's yet another tangent, but to make a long story short, I was told to try to add, like, I tasted my friend's strawberry acai with, like, lemonade instead of water, and I was like, oh man, that sounds delicious. She's like, yeah, you can go get it for yourself. Just make sure you say strawberry acai with lemonade instead of water. And I was like, okay. say that again. And then like, she had to say it again. And I kept practicing it in my head. Then I went up to the whatever counter. And I was like, and they're like, what do you want? And I was like, strawberry with lemonade instead of water. It's like, great. Do you know what size you want? And I was like, I didn't rehearse that. Why would you ask me another question?
Rip.
And I was like, what? Yeah, that was like one of my first Starbucks experiences too. So
Oof.
it stands very close to my head because I was like, they're like, okay, so we have grande and venti,
Oh
and
my
I'm
god,
like,
John, you're gonna irritate me. It's so stupid. So stupid.
I was like, I don't know what venti. What's venti? What's grande?
Yeah.
Which is bigger?
So dumb.
Yeah, that was one of my first Starbucks experiences when I was a freshman going to the Starbucks on campus there. Yep. I briefly considered having it here, given how relaxing the cafe is. Look how comfy.
Yeah, when we first got to this scene, my resting heart rate was like 10, and then Diva was angry, and now it's like 110. Fucking.
I'm sorry. At least say maybe I'm helping you wake you up next to the coffee. That's before I noticed Caprice. Okay.
Sorry.
That's before I noticed Caprice chatting with the tall man sitting across from her. Is this gonna be the teacher? Maybe?
Oh, how scandalous.
I know. She's either on a date with a guy who's old or trying to convince the guy who's a teacher to be the whatchamacallit, the
Advisor.
Club advisor. Yeah, club advisor. I'm surprised I didn't notice them. I must really be out of it. As the cute barista slides the coffee cup towards me, I decide I'd better leave the two in peace and drink outside. Before I can, Reese catches sight of me and begins excitedly waving her hand in the air.
Allie! Hey, Allie! Over here! Allie! You think I didn't see you, but I did! I'm not letting you leave without acknowledging that we're in the same place at the same time!
Okay, I'm sorry. Please stop saying my name in this crowded place. So much for that. Coffee in hand, I rarely walk over to their table and look from one to the other. Morning, Caprice.
Wallace.
Upon Caprice moving her backpack off a chair and placing it on the floor, I take a seat.
Allison here's a good friend, and one of the founding members of the art club. The new art club.
This is Caprice's rodeo, so I'm content to let her deal with the club as she wants to at this point. One second, let me wipe my glasses. It takes me a moment to realize she referred to me as a good friend in particular. We've only known each other for a couple of months since the semester started, but I'm a little glad she thinks of me like that.
Hi, I'm some guy Caprice found. He's our fourth member.
As she sighs forlornly, all I can offer is a stilted smile in response. Caprice looks so comfortable dealing with him that I assumed they knew each other already. Come to think of it, Caprice had no problem dealing with Eileen either, despite barely knowing her. I'm impressed at how she can talk to strangers with just the same confidence as friends. Maybe she even considers him one already.
So, what'd you get up to over the weekend, Allie?
Just housework and errands. It's surprising how much time I spend on that sort of thing now that I've moved out.
I get what you mean. Thankfully, I split the work with my roommates.
It's my roommate that makes me want to pick up the slack. Caprice looks to Wallace for his input, making him part of the conversation.
I look after the family gun shop on weekends. Nothing glamorous, but enough to get by on.
Grace continues on chatting, mostly with him. Wallace quietly nods along, adding a yeah or I see as needed. I get the distinct feeling he's being talked at more than being talked to. Zoom. Now that we're both sitting across from each other, I can fully appreciate how much of a bear this man is, cutting more of a foreboding figure thanks to his beard. I want to make a bet that he's part of he's either computer science or fine arts, I guess.
He's in a turtleneck.
Liberal arts, I know. In the glasses and the beard, though. There were a lot of computer science people like that. But the turtleneck makes me wonder if he could be liberal arts also. That's what I'm going with. Liberal arts or computer science. I feel like saying a science isn't a fair guess. But so I'll just stick with computer science. I can already feel myself shrinking in response. For want to not stare at him, I turned to the coffee steaming away before him. A flat black with the lid taken off to let it cool faster. You can taste how bitter it is just by looking at it. Yeah, he's a psychopath, so he's probably The conversation is suddenly interrupted by a phone going off. Apparently Caprice's, as her hand dives into the front pocket of her hoodie and retrieves it. Wallace and I just look to each other as she wanders off a few steps to take the call, unsure exactly what to do with ourselves. It only takes a few seconds before she returns.
Sorry, you guys. Gotta go. Roommates need me.
Wait.
I'll see you two around. We've got much more to discuss. Wink.
With that, she grabs her backpack and skips out into the winter air without another word. Going by her face, I'm more worried about this than she is. Left alone with Wallace, I sip my coffee for something to do. Glancing in his direction, he looks more relieved than anything.
She means well.
I know she does.
Even if Eileen doesn't think so, I just have to keep telling myself that.
And now I'm glad I didn't say that. Much as I would like to leap to her defense, she's pushing this awfully hard. If he's trying to start conversation, I feel I should at least try to reciprocate rather than letting him twist in the wind. So, you and Eileen know each other? He gives a nod after taking a sip of his coffee. That must be so awfully bitter. Gross.
We're friends. Met when she was a freshman in high school. Caprice saw us together and made the connection.
Oh.
She's filled me in on this club business. I'm going to guess you were pulled into it.
Something like that. It kind of spiraled out of control. Sorry. Wallace simply shrugs.
Not the first time clubs have been pushy about scouting members. I was actually thinking the whole thing might be good for Eileen. Her single-mindedness is her best and worst trait, really. I don't want to say, please put up with Eileen, but I'm having trouble working out a better way to word that. She isn't a bad person, just driven. I'm sure you know someone similar.
I do shudder what her reaction would be to being told she and Caprice are similar in any way. I'm still not sure about dealing with her, but it's hard to deny someone worried about their friend. Wallace seems content that he's managed to get his point across, silence hanging in the air as he thoughtfully sips his coffee. Reminds me that I should drink my own before it gets too cold as well. The weather outside is a harsh contrast to the nice atmosphere in here, which might be why more students are starting to file in before classes start. The coffee's nice as well, so maybe I'll make this a regular spot. If I can afford to, that is. As for my companion, I think I'm starting to see him in a better way. He's just concerned about his friend. Maybe he's the gentle giant type, who isn't that threatening at all. This cup empty as he sets it down, Wallace sits back to savor the last of its taste.
Well, I've said my piece. Caprice will probably give up on me, but you and Eileen are another matter.
Caprice is a good friend. I can handle her. It was nice meeting you, Wallace. I carefully repeat his name to try and engrave it into my memory. I have no doubt I instantly forget it otherwise. He's perhaps overly hopeful when it comes to Caprice, though.
Thanks. You seem nice, so hopefully Eileen will ease off a bit.
Grabs himself off the chair with a grunt, taking a glance out. Yeah, like a bear. Taking a glance outside before grabbing the scarf and hat once.
Good luck with class.
Thanks, you too. With that, he leaves the cafe while sliding past someone coming in, staggering through the terrible weather outside as he goes. With my next class so soon, I better finish this coffee off quickly. With that in mind, I concentrate on taking as big gulps as I can without looking unsightly. It's funny how one thing leads to another, though. Feels like a snowball's begun to start rolling, meeting new and interesting people since I started here. Might have taken a couple of months, but maybe I will manage to find some new friends.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah. With the weather turning worse and worse as the week went on, the library seemed as good a place as any to spend some time before having lunch. Unfortunately, it looks like I wasn't the only one who had that idea. While the library here is bigger than my previous schools, that doesn't matter much when a large portion of the students are dumped inside. While my first choice would have been using one of the computers, that's obviously out of the question. Worried about looking like a dork as I loiter about, start walking slowly through the library. Thankfully, nobody pays me much attention while I glance side to side for an empty table or desk. The students who are actually studying seem to be outnumbered by those gossiping with friends or catching up on sleep. It's only in a far corner of the room that I catch a familiar face, be it not necessarily a welcome one. I wonder who? What? No way.
Small world.
Yeah, small college. We're so... well, we don't know that yet. Eileen sits hunched over a thick textbook, occasionally scribbling into a small note beside it as her finger stops every so often on one important part or another. It's hard to tell if she's annoyed or just studying hard.
Maybe both.
Yeah. I consider leaving Eileen to her study and braving the weather outside, before she rubs her temple and looks down mournfully at her notebook. That pose is all too familiar for any student. I feel a little bad for her, given vending machine problems and how she wound up with Caprice stuck to her. She doesn't seem to have very good luck. She might not be the friendliest person, but if I could help her a bit... With Wallace's words weighing on my mind, I grimace and accept my fate as I begin walking to the otherwise empty table. She looks up and catches my eye as I come near. So I guess I'm committed to this now. So we're doing this.
Afternoon.
My existence has been noted. Don't think that could sound any more perfunctory, but at least she isn't shooing me away.
Carried out with minimum effort or reflection. He gave a perfunctory nod.
Yes, I've heard the word used before. I just didn't remember.
Brag about it.
No, I would have to use context clues to assume it meant something similar to what you read off. Setting my bag beside my chair as I take a seat, I pull out my phone to check for any missed messages and switch it to silent before placing it on the table before me. I'm surprised you're not in the art room.
I don't live there, you know.
Wouldn't it be more private than here, though? She lets out a long, miserable groan as her head sinks. Hardly difficult to work out what that means.
Caprice won't stop bugging me to join her drawing for some stupid thing.
Well, what was it?
I wasn't really listening. Christmas scenes or something?
She's barely even listening to me as she tries to wave me off. Caprice is probably scurrying around campus as we speak, waiting for me to join her as a drawing partner. What are you studying?
Math. It's been kicking my ass, so I need to get my head around it for these stupid gen ed classes.
Eileen really lifts her head up from the notebook as she speaks. Looking over the table at her work, various practice equations cover the notebook's page. Pain. I have to admit, I do admire Eileen's drive. I was just going to pass some time in the library reading, but seeing her working away has made me feel a little guilty.
You any good at this stuff?
Math? I ended up skipping the gen ed class thanks to my placement exam results. I don't know what gen ed is.
General
General
education.
education?
There you go.
No.
The classes you have to take no matter what your
Core class. Gotcha. We just called them core classes.
Well, aren't you cool going to an actual university instead of a community college like some of us peasants?
Oh, is that what? I mean, is that a community college
that's-
specific thing?
Maybe. I don't know. We called them gen ed, and I went to community college, so. Someone spent their time studying like a good little teacher's pet, knowing that gen ed classes can also be core classes. Brag about it.
Nothing like that. Math and science are easy enough, so I ended up coasting along. I need to learn how to study now that I'm here. Eileen's eyes narrow. Maybe she wasn't exaggerating about her skills. After having such an easy time in high school, it's easy to forget I'm the odd one out here. Of course, I put my foot in my mouth just as I was starting to break the ice with her. I mean, if you want, I could have a look at your work. She's hardly enthusiastic, but shrugs and moves herself a little out of the way. Curiosity's gotten the better of me. Coming around the table and looking at the notebook from behind her, I take a gander at her notes so far. At least this is easy to read, given her immaculate handwriting. The more I check over her notes, though, the more the corners of my mouth drag down. She's done a good job of showing her process, and the first couple of questions covering expressions look right at a glance. it comes to polynomials. Ugh. However, the next two have odd leaps of logic. The last meanders off into the wilderness.
Yeah, that's a word. Sure, polynomials. It's probably a real word.
It's a math thing, obviously. It's a real word. Yeah. I realize I should say something to express how she's done so far, but the window of time to say something even mildly positive to soften the blow has long since passed.
So it's like that, huh?
You got some of it right. That didn't help. Polynomials do seem to trip a lot of people up, so she isn't catastrophically bad at this. Still, considering the first semester of gen ed subjects is mostly reviewing in high school, this isn't a promising start. Mind if I scribble on this a bit?
I thought you were doing the rest of it for me. So, knock yourself out.
Was that an actual... Did she say that first part?
She just said knock yourself out.
Okay.
Is it
I think there was too much of a lag. It lagged a little bit, but like, it knock yourself out happened right when you started saying it. I was like, wait. You're either like a mind reader and knew she was going to say that, or it's laggy. I reach over to grab my pen from the other side of the table before hunching over her book and jotting down a couple of notes. First up are a few pointers to where the first two polynomials went awry before taking a parallel crack at the worst of them. Pausing for a moment halfway to check the logic of what I'm doing, I'm satisfied I'm on the right track as I finish it off. The result looks about right. Eileen flips over the textbook page on cue to check my answer, looking a little dubious as she does so. Indicated by the matching results, I feel a good bit of relief at not making a fool of myself in front of her.
At least one of us has a head for this stuff.
Does it make more sense to you now? She takes a thorough look at my scribbles on her notebook, eyebrows furrowed as she tries to pick up the reasoning. I can't help but glance between my notes and Eileen as she looks over them. She didn't project an aura of wanting to be left alone all the time. Just her looks and her style would probably attract people.
I think so.
You don't sound too sure.
This is about as confident as I ever get with math, so don't worry. I'll have to repay you sometime.
You can repay me by joining the art club. Is that what we're going with this? I don't know. Taking that as confirmation that my job is done, I return to my seat as Eileen leans in her chair. It's nothing, really. You should ask your professor, though, if you're not confident doing polynomials.
Needing to ask them doesn't mean that I want to.
Given how frank she is, I guess this must be a matter of pride rather than shyness. Maybe that's where her stubbornness comes from.
Why are you wasting your time here with me anyway? Don't you have some friends to do? Things with?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't have many. I only really know you and Caprice. Met Wallace the other day, actually.
So that brat was trying to drag him into the club too.
Wallace may think it might be a good experience for her, but Eileen's disdain for Caprice is going to be hard to overcome. Hearing my phone vibrating on the table, I quickly pick it up to see who's messaged me. Quickly force myself to keep a poker face as the name comes into view. She must have given up on our loneliness if Eileen's avoiding her and I'm here. I'm not terribly hungry, but I should probably get at least a sandwich or something next year before class begins.
Hey, wanna grab something at the cafeteria?
Quickly typing in an agreement to meet there, I locked the phone once more. I might go grab lunch. Wanna come?
Sorry, I already ate. Thanks for the offer, though.
She's already back to concentrating on her textbook as she mumbles a reply. It's probably for the best anyway. Giving a quiet farewell, I grab my bag and put my phone back inside. As I pull it over my shoulder, though, Eileen looks up.
By the way, I don't blame you for any of this stuff Caprice is pushing. You seem alright.
Gasp. So I'm alright. I should expect that as praise coming from her? It's heck
You
yes
could look at my
praise.
boobs a little bit less, but you're not the only one.
Fuck! She noticed. I was looking respectfully, I swear. Glad for our meeting having been somewhat successful. Aside from the chiding remark about boobs, I wave goodbye and head out towards the cafeteria. The cafeteria is a little less full than the library. There's stocks of food behind the counter already running low on all the usual student favorites. With the line for food moving quickly, I managed to grab the last set of sandwiches and move on. Scanning about, I noticed Caprice sipping her juice, an empty tray before her. She sure eats fast.
Fucking Maya, fucking Pearl looking ass. Got her juice box with her and she's already eating and stuff. She's Genki, cutesy. Very good.
Yup. Glad for the company either way. I won't go over and take a seat at their table.
Hey, Allie. Long time no see.
We saw each other yesterday.
How's everything going? How are your classes? What's your sex life like? No, wait, that's not. So how's your sex life?
What? Not too bad. Maybe. I mean, it's all familiar enough right now. Except the part's not. Not that everyone's doing as well as I am. As I unpack my sandwich and begin to nibble, my thoughts turn into the woman in the library. I feel a little sorry for her. Elegant's circle reminding me that I have it easier than some time. Then there's the matter of her and the club. Putting my phone back down, I decided to tackle this more directly than usual. Eileen can be so direct with others, and so can I. I was thinking, you meant for me to meet my Eileen last week, didn't you?
She's fun, isn't she?
Something like that. That painting of the girl in the water was really pretty.
She's really good, huh? No wonder the other art club tried to grab her.
About that. Well, more about Eileen. I'm not sure it's a good idea to be forcing people into this club. I know you're excited to get things started, but just because her art's good doesn't mean she wants to be in a club.
You sound like you're not really into it yourself.
She's sharper than I give her credit for. Caught off guard, I have to stop and think as she sips at the last of her juice. Sucking sanity makes sure to get every last drop. Doesn't help. Oh God, what is that reference? I'm probably thinking of Todoroki slurping on the noodles.
Yeah.
Probably just. I can't say exactly what I need to be doing. I think studying is exactly what I need to be doing, lest I waste my scholarship. On the other hand, Caprice is my only friend right now, and I do enjoy spending time with her. As she puts down her drink with a satisfied breath, I know my answer. I can make time for it. She gives a comically big sigh, missing my hesitation entirely. With the sense of only being between a couple of us, maybe it won't be too bad, as long as it's not a whole bunch of people getting involved.
I want to do this for her sake as well, you know. Eileen looks kind of lonely all by herself in that room. I'm a martyr, what can I say? I'm a saint.
Huh. I wouldn't exactly say that, and I hadn't considered that Caprice was coming at it from that angle. It makes me think a little better of her, I suppose. What she says makes me reconsider Eileen's action in another way as well. Wondering how much of her reluctance around this isn't due to Caprice herself, rather her feeling by the other part of her arm.
Seeing that kind of talent makes you kind of envious though, right? I mean, those boobs.
I mean, I drew a bit of boobs in high school for fun. I don't think I could ever manage something beautiful like that. We keep chatting, but Caprice's earlier words stick firmly in my mind. She said I was alright. Oh wait, no.
Those are Eileen's
Caprice's
words.
Not.
Yeah.
Those are Eileen's words. I'm just so focused on Eileen. I can't help it. We may meet every school day and talk quite a lot. At least she does. But I realize just how little I really know her in spite of that. Oh god, and before we get the tragic backstory. Maybe spending more time together wouldn't be so bad after all. She's Genki to hide her sadness.
Yeah. Fucking DDLC. You probably want to go home with Eileen, don't you? Don't worry, Caprice. You were our first friend.
With time on my hands, thanks to the last class of the week finally being over, some quiet sketching would be a nice way to unwind. With that in mind, I make my way up to the art room. Studying would be the proper thing to do, but I'm just too burned out. Not that this stubborn cold helps either. While most classes are winding down, the professors are aware that the looming holidays are a big distraction. Others have tried ramping up the workload to try and cover everything in their semester plans. They might be keeping up, but plenty aren't. With my bag tucked under my arm, I give a sigh as I stare along the snowy path to the arts building. It would be nice to feel like I'm doing more than treading water, in class and socially. Stepping into the arts building with its strung-up decorations reminds me to look on the bright side. It's already the middle of November, and not long until Christmas and being back with my family. I'll be thankful to be back with them, even if the rest of the holiday period is a wash. I managed to angle around a chatting group of friends blocking the hallway, start up the stairs without bothering them. Another small success. I briefly wonder if Eileen's in the art room as I proceed along the second floor hallway. Her paintings are always nice to see. Whether she thinks of me as just another pain like she views Caprice weighs in my mind. But she said I was alright. Opening the door to the quiet room, I can't say I'm surprised at the sight before me. Of course she was going to be there.
That might be a lot of hair.
That is probably a lot of hair. Her eyes glance over as I gingerly shut the door behind me, ending up being the only acknowledgement of my presence at all before she goes right back to her work. Curiosity about what she's painting gets the better of me. Is it okay if I watch?
Go ahead.
For a CG of the game? That isn't the background? I don't know. Is it?
I think it opened with one, which was staring down from the balcony.
Right, but this is a little different, I feel like. That one had, like, the paper and stuff.
That is true.
She doesn't bother to look at me as she says it, but doesn't sound reluctant either, so I scoot over and sit myself on a table as quietly as I can. Eileen's brush continues to flick to and fro as she works in the background.
So, Caprice is a no-show.
She says she had to go do something with her roommates. Shoulders slump as she sighs, relieved. Do you really hate her that much?
Believe me, if I hated her, you'd know. I'm just glad to have some quiet.
It's hard not to take that as a thinly veiled implication that I should be quiet as well. Wallace might not be wrong that Eileen means well, but that doesn't make her any easier to talk to.
Something on your mind?
You're really good at this. It'd feel weird to say I've been talking about Eileen behind her back, but I said it's true though. I'm impressed she can carry on a conversation while working, and I like how her painting's turning out.
Thanks. Been doing it for a while.
As a hobby?
If everything works out, hopefully as a career. Artist or teacher, aiming for the latter. As you can assume, I'm great with kids.
Oh, that's a lot. That does explain her persistence at working a way to get better. Wanting to be a teacher, though, she gives the feeling of a drill sergeant more than being an art tutor.
Tubes out.
Eileen gets up and places supplies on the sill beside her, opening the cupboard and fiddling around a bit. Before long, she emerges with a new tube of crimson paint in hand. Rather than get back to painting after closing the door, though, she instead turns to me.
So, what about you?
Sorry?
What are you doing once you escape this place?
Oh, I don't really know. Still trying to figure that out. I feel like I failed a test as I trail off, but Eileen doesn't seem worried.
You're still young, and there's a good few courses to look into here. Just try your hand at whatever comes up till something grabs you. There are plenty of worse ways to spend your time in college. You're smart too, so you have that going for you.
You awkwardly smile at the praise. She's never been good at knowing how to handle compliments. Also compliments from pretty people. She may say that, but the fact Eileen's so set on a career, yet only seems to be around my age, proves in my lack of direction. I'm still patting myself on the back for managing groceries. My parents always told me I could do whatever I set my mind to, but it was so easy to tread water for me that I never bothered trying to swim.
Sounds like you have a nice family.
I move to respond. The memory of them gives me the familiar pang of homesickness all over again. I might have found time to call Mom yesterday, but it just isn't the same.
You okay?
Yeah, I miss them.
Well, everyone here is going through the same thing.
You as well?
I miss my sister, yeah. She's probably fine, but that doesn't make it easier.
Mom and Dad, too?
To be honest, things have been easier between me and my folks since I moved out.
Ugh.
Relatable. Yeah.
Huh. It's hard to imagine being on such bad terms with my family that moving away was better. The best thing about Christmas will be the chance to see them again, but Eileen doesn't seem particularly fussed about it at all. Leaving me to ponder, Eileen goes back to her painting. I get the feeling she wouldn't be this gracious to Caprice, so she seems to think a little better of me at least. She's lent me an ear.
Not boring you, am I?
No, not at all. I like watching you paint. She pauses a moment before continuing. It's only for a second, but I sense a hesitation there. Did I say something wrong or weird? The moment passes since it arrived. Eileen's brush returning to the canvas. The other students appear to have left by now. Orange-stained room, silent save for her work. The building's just a little cold, but that's fine. As the minutes roll by, I end up watching her for a while as I swing my legs. I almost forgot I came here to actually draw, but that doesn't matter. Watching her painting slowly progress is better, whatever that said. Every so often, she mixes up a dab of this paint and that on the wooden palette beside her. The side of a hip is traced out, the light bouncing off a waist shaded, or a flowing strand of hair detailed with a fine tip. I can't help but admire her ability to set a goal and stay true to it, knowing exactly what she's working toward at this stage of her life.
So, this is a personal attack.
Yeah, no, for sure. Is this their freshman year? Is this or sophomore?
I think it's freshman because she's saying that she's just moved and stuff, right? Like this is all new to her.
She just moved and she met what's her face, Caprice, at the beginning of the semester or something. So yeah, they're 18, and that's assuming they didn't go to college late, I guess.
Right.
If only I had an ounce of the ambition Eileen has. I might go to a cafe nearby to grab a coffee. I'll be back in a bit.
Tired?
Yeah, sorry to distract you from your work.
Glad for the company. Have fun. Be safe. Make good choices.
Oh, I always do. My drama won't allow me to do anything else.
Oh, that was not all hair. That's kind of cool. The painting's actually changing. And I can see the red strands of hair and stuff.
Yeah, that is cool. I was like, where is the crimson going to come into play?
Yeah, now so did I.
With that, I hop off the table and start toward the door. I feel like this was I do not recall what the people who created the game were, their roles or whatever. I only briefly looked at the Steam. But I feel like the people who did the art were very closely in tune with the story writing too, maybe, possibly. I don't know. Could be just that they decided to do it as the story took place, but just the attention to detail feels like they had a close hand in it.
Wait, Chotomate.
Her Japanese voice stops me in my tracks just as I'm about to go. It'd be great if she decided to come as well.
Could you grab me a coffee too? Espresso, straight. I'll give you some cash when you come back.
So much for that.
I'm not falling for that scam again. And she's like, oh, sorry. I guess I don't have my wallet on me. Get you next time. Thanks, chump.
Whoops. The cafeteria hums away as students talk amongst themselves. The room having mostly filled up by now. The thought briefly passes my mind that winter must be great for business, given this being the closest place for cheap food during bad weather. Some smears on the edges of the plate are all that remains of the mostly cooked pasta served today. I was left my accompanying soda bubbling away while I passed some time browsing this site and that. As I read, a shadow suddenly looms over the other side of the table. Looking up from my phone reveals a very familiar figure.
What is this presence?
I know, we gotta stop meeting like this. People are gonna talk. Eileen peers down as she stands at the opposite side of this table. A large plate of food steaming away in her hand. Fresh pasta sauce is strong enough to smell from here.
Okay, to sit here.
No, of course not. I mean, yeah, sure. I was trying to be coy with a joke. I quickly set my phone down as she takes a seat and arranges her tray on the table. Happy that she chooses to sit with me. Is this her theme? Is this the same as the West Side Story theme, or I think that was a little different. I think that was more confrontational because she was beating up a vending machine.
Yeah, this one is a little more relaxed.
Yes. A glance around to see if anyone's with her makes me realize why she probably chose to sit here. The cafeteria is practically full, and this is simply the nearest table with space available. I'm not special. About to take her first gulp of food, Eileen's fork halts midair before saying something.
Cold any better?
Yeah, clearing up now.
Good to hear.
With that, she starts on her pasta and salad. As I take my phone to browse some more, and Eileen calmly eats the average at best cafeteria food, feels as though there's no need to chat just to fill the air. That silence between us is becoming more comfortable.
The dream.
That is, before I get a message. Clicking away the browser app, I take a quick look.
Is it Rose? Oh, it's a Rose, yeah.
I think that's Rose,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can't make dinner. Work sucks.
You were getting groceries yesterday, right? Anything in the fridge? Seconds tick by as I wait for a response, a sense of concern starting to take over.
Am I gonna have to fend for myself?
Rose, don't leave me, Rose.
Sorry.
Rose.
Work needs me. See you later.
Rose. All I could do was sigh and slump down in my seat as I lay my phone on the table. Eileen looks at me in puzzlement, her fork hovering near her mouth.
Bad news, or...
Roommate forgot to do groceries. We're out of food.
Can't you just grab a burger on the way home?
That would be the plan if I wasn't nearly through my allowance. I just look away and groan, not up to outright saying that I'm broke.
You know, it's kind of
Maybe she doesn't
implied
like broke
we're in
bitches.
college.
Yeah, I know. Maybe she doesn't like broke bitches.
That bad, huh? You one of them broke bitches.
At first glance, she shrugs off as she goes back to eating, but she seems to actually be in thought after watching her a bit. Watching her a bit. Eventually, after finishing her food, she speaks up.
I guess I was cooking some extra anyway. You can come over for dinner if you want. It's within walking distance.
Is she asking me out on a date? At her house? For dinner? Isn't that moving too fast? The suggestion's enough to make me bolt upright in an instant. What? It's your place?
Yeah,
You have a place? You have a home?
should be fine, right? You okay with stir fry?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this.
Sure, whatever. Just don't make it weird. It's not like it's a date.
Oh, okay. Consider the discussion over. Eileen goes back to finishing off her food without much concern for what she just said. Yeah, even though you just broke my heart, maybe she does have a good side. Stopping before the large black door, I repeat the address Eileen gave me to reassure myself I've come to the right place. Eileen's definition of walkable is apparently rather different than mine, still catching my breath from the hike. I thought I was going to be fine, but my nerves are getting the better of me now that I'm here. I'm going to a near stranger's home after all, and it'll just be the two of us, and she said it's not a date. At school we just happen to be around each other, but this is entirely different. Glancing down the hall to make sure nobody's watching me awkwardly loiter around, I take a moment to appreciate how nice her apartment building is. This is a nice area, and everything inside is immaculate. Even the hallway carries a slight scent of cleaning products. Out of excuses to stall any longer, I take a breath and gingerly press the doorbell. Its muffled chime ringing out from behind the door. I run my hand through my hair one more time to make sure I look presentable as footsteps come to the door. The plain wooden door swings open, answered by...
A man. I knew it. How
Not Eileen!
dare they?
That slut!
This is that BBS shit.
The what?
BBS? BSS? There's that thing in Kaguya where it was like that feeling of getting cheated on when you're not actually in a relationship. Is it BSS?
Oh. I don't I mean, I'm sure that was plenty Kaguya scenes, but I just didn't remember that was the name or wording.
Oh, evening.
Before I can ask if I got the right apartment, he turns around.
Allison's here.
Wallace jerks his head around for me, they follow. I obediently do so, still too confused to get a word out. Definitely not a date. Eileen didn't mention he would be here. I don't know how I feel about it. It's crushed. Soul crushing. Maybe I should be relieved it's not just the two of us. Wow.
Is that a fucking... That's not a dorm room then. That's like just a full-ass apartment. It looked like they were at the dorms or something maybe, but this is just an apartment building.
Oh no, it's an apartment, but it's a nice one.
This is for sure.
Barely noticing the thud of the door closing behind me, I take a quick glance around her apartment as I place my coat on the counter. The first striking thing is how clean it is, with everything put neatly in its place. But again, aside from a few paintings on the walls that are possibly her own, there's not much clutter around to clean up. The television, quite a decent size for students, sits on a cable news channel. Riveting as the economic situation report is, it's barely audible over the clacking rice cooker coming from the kitchen. As Wallace and I stride in, Eileen comes to her feet after having been on the couch. She lazily covers a deep yawn with her hand as she does. Hi.
So you managed to find the place. Welcome to my home, I guess. I'd introduce you to this guy as well, but it seems you two already know each other.
Wallace and I exchange a brief glance.
Just had coffee together once.
Well, I did find his size intimidating at first. He seems a bit of a giant figure now that I'm around him more. Looks like this isn't going to be dinner for just me and Eileen then, which is totally fine, totally cool. Friends are nice, Wallace is nice. No need to be disappointed. Take one last glance about.
This expression on Wallace for some reason was reminding me of fucking what's his face from Uramichio Nissan. Looks like he's thinking of onigiri right now. He's just totally, it's like just space like yeah, Ikiteru Nissan. Just onigiri on the mind. Head empty, no thoughts. Okay, Pooch, you don't need to disagree with me that much. Pooch, I'm decay. You made your point, I'm wrong. Okay.
Why are you barking?
Demons! Demons in the room, Diva! There's a ghost!
I hate it when he suddenly starts arguing.
Be gone, child of Satan! The power of Christ compels you! Banish thee from my home!
How did you...
Spirits!
We jinxed so hard.
We did.
Pooch!
Don't worry, Diva, I'll protect you from the spirits!
Hush. No. Go back to sleep. I don't even know if you were sleeping, but you were like so quiet. You're just chilling. Alright, well, I don't think he's gonna start barking yet. He's giving me the side eye now. Like, he's like, I want to bark so bad, but he's like scared. Little dick.
think I heard that. You can't call me a dick.
Taking one last glance about, the inside of her place is as nice as the outside. From the meticulous cleanliness to the trendy furniture, her home looks more suited to a design magazine than a student's living area. Your apartment's really nice.
Thanks. I like to try and keep things organized. Especially when visitors are over.
Eileen glares daggers at Wallace, but he doesn't pay any heed. The two seem to have a good handle on each other. Are they roommates?
Moving on. Well, let's just watch TV or something while we get dinner sorted. Can do. Onigiri on the mind.
Hey, dude. Thanks again for letting me have dinner with you.
Don't get too comfortable. I'm gonna make you work for your food.
Eileen motions for me to come over with her, but the gesture was unnecessary given her commanding tone. Wallace gives a dreary glance as he follows his orders, and I quickly do the same. I end up standing before a well-used wooden cutting board, taking the large knife Eileen offers before sizing up the variety of vegetables awaiting its blade. I don't think she notices my hesitation as she opens the rice cooker and gives the contents a stir. The two of us waste little time in getting to work, the sound of food being prepared filling the room. I want a rice cooker. Unfortunately, it isn't long before I've earned Eileen's ire.
Stop.
My heart practically leaps out of my chest as I immediately freeze,
Yamaro!
retreating from the cutting board. Ah!
Did I hand you a hatchet?
No.
Then why are you using that thing as one? Looks like you're trying to lop off some fingers.
In response to my puzzled look, she takes the knife off me and starts demonstrating the correct technique herself.
I thought you'd be more help than him in fixing this up. Look, you curl your hand in next to where you want to cut like this. Now use the knife like a lever instead of wildly hacking away. Or make it nice, slow slices, not some slasher B-movie scene.
Right, I think I have it. Eileen hands the knife back, and after a breath to study myself, I have another try. Boobs! She soon starts frowning as I slice away, but at least she's not yelling at me again.
I'm guessing you
It's
don't
giving
cook for
me-
yourself.
This is giving me early Ruby vibes of Ruby and Weiss. They're like, and I just wanted her to stop yelling at me! Oh, it's happening again!
Her eyes rest on the collection of lopsided shapes sitting before me.
Oh, I'm lucky if I don't mess up instant noodles.
I thought those were impossible to get wrong. I'm genuinely impressed. So is my dog.
You do all your own cooking?
Not like I have anyone else to cook for me. Healthier than living off pizza and burgers, too.
And what about Wallace? Aren't you roommates?
I see we're going right into this. Eileen is also much bigger than Allison as well. Maybe Allison's just small.
Maybe.
No, he just loafs around here sometimes. I've tried to get him to help, but he's no better than you are. I'm always feeding him and letting him crash on my couch. He even bugs me for free pictures for his writing.
Liberal arts!
That fucker.
That was right. She sets down her knife in genuine, if depressing, thought.
Maybe we should just become roommates. It's not like I have anyone else I'm interested in.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get a handle on their relationship. Maybe. As strange a prayer as they might seem, the stern and uncompromising Eileen and gentle giant Wallace seem like they're a compatible couple. Good for them. Love that for them. Good for them. I'm surprised you're not. I thought you might be
you know, roommates.
No, just friends.
So are you know, Flip's wrist?
Or is he,
you
Flip's
know.
wrist? Flip's other wrist.
you just limp wrists swing around.
Like that, what is that? I feel like that's a movie where someone's got like two like busted wrists, just like flailing them about.
Deadpool!
That's what it is, yes, Deadpool, thank you. I was like, I'm not imagining this right. What is that from? Deadpool, yeah, he punches Colossus both times, yeah, and he's just
T-Rex!
Yeah.
I didn't have the right mental image either, but that was exactly what I was had in my head. I just didn't realize it. Oh, so much for that. She waves away the idea so easily that it must have come up before. In fact, back at the cafe, Wallace seemed quick to clarify that too. Did he? He did just say that he was worried about a friend or whatever. I don't know. Wallace's voice pipes up from behind us. Yeah, she's gay. I'm kidding.
It's not often Eileen invites someone else over for dinner. I don't invite anyone over for dinner. You just show up most of the time. Including now, actually. I've had to put up with him like this since he was high school. I guess no one else would. My dog keeps telling me not to let him get away with it, but, Objection! I'm the one who puts up with you.
He's a Phoenix Wright fan.
I am currently the one holding a knife. You damn Fujoshi. Objection withdrawn.
With that, he goes back to quietly watching television. I'm starting to get how Eileen deals with others in general now. She simply has no filter when it comes to stating what she believes is to be true. That can be a problem just as much as shyness, though. Thinking back to when we met, the only reason I didn't write the episode with her off as Caprice and Wallace nudging me afterwards. But here she is, looking after her friend and providing me with a meal. It took a while, but I'm glad I met her in the end. Perhaps that's why it's a little worrisome that she lives alone like this. You normally do all this without anyone to help?
You don't need to say that like it's a bad thing. There are all sorts in the world. Some are better with people than others. Living alone suits me, and I can afford it. Ha! Me, too. Half. I know, Pooch. I know.
Yeah, y'all lonely. No. Hush, Pooch.
It's like how it suits you, doesn't Gabe? Is that why you're always crying yourself to sleep every night, huh? Is that why you're always having breakdowns about being lonely? Huh, Gabe? Pooch didn't have to attack me like that.
Yeah, Pooch is personally attacking all of us here. You know Caprice, though, don't you? So you're not completely alone besides Wallace and me. God, fuck. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Tell me, how did you and Caprice meet?
We were sitting at the same table for a biology lecture. She started passing me notes during class out of the blue. Once we started talking afterwards, she didn't really stop.
That's the way it goes with her. Once you get caught in her orbit, she doesn't let you go.
Caprice isn't that bad. She's a sweet person, just high energy. She gives a non-committal grunt before getting on with her cooking. I do wish she'd give her a chance. Caprice does only mean the best for her.
Sorry, I'm texting Brad. Moving away from that, could you grab the plates and glasses? They shouldn't take long to fry. Root beer, please. Water is healthier. Allison, please, save me from this woman. You are here
All I
of
can
your
do
own
is
accord.
I like Wallace. All I can do is give a weak smile. Much as I'd like to give him what he asks for, following Eileen's orders would probably be for the best. I'm sorry, Wallace. I am a simp. With all of us well and truly full, we sit around the table and savor the meal we've had. It was the best food I've had in a while, since it was neither takeout nor cooked by Rose.
Rose,
Having
for
sent
some
a text
reason,
message
gets
for
a
her.
chill down her spine. Lifts her crowbar up, looking for someone to bonk.
Like, how rude. Having sent a text message to her for a pickup, all that's left is to run down the clock as the evening wears on.
Mom, come get me. The food is gone.
I'm scared.
I can't hold a conversation.
Yeah, she's too pretty. I can't. Looking around the apartment, I point to one of the paintings on the wall. Did you paint all these?
Yeah, really need something else to put up there, though.
Is it too early for paint me like one of those French girls?
I have been thinking it also. I would not at all be surprised if that eventually comes into play. I'm also not going to be surprised if she's like, yeah, well, these models are my exes, so, you know, probably shouldn't have them up on my wall anymore.
Yikes. That would be a thing. Oh, but why? They're really good.
I appreciate the thought. All of them have dumb little mistakes, though. Just needed something to make the walls less bare when I moved in, and never got around to replacing them.
You like painting people in particular, don't you?
Just into portraits and figures. Modern art's all well and good, but I started with figure drawing and ended up attached to it. Also, you'll notice the subjects. Women. Bodies are pretty fascinating when you think about them. Really think about them, that is. I spent days just sitting there, sketching, trying to work out how muscles fit together, how lighting interacts with skin, how women, and all that.
Am I supposed to be turned on? I don't know. The way she rattles off my thoughts is such a good feeling. Gives away how much she cares about women. The subject, which is women. Can't say I take it quite as seriously as she does. But I can see where she's coming from. Woman.
Interested in this stuff, Alice? And by which, of course, I
yes.
mean... Oh, well, okay.
Yes, absolutely. Me? No, I just drew a little in high school. Passing the time, that kind of thing.
Nothing wrong with that. I sketch on my tablet, and Eileen gives me pointers sometimes. Maybe I should throw you to the wolves and tell Caprice you like doing art as well. Oh, you
This is her
wouldn't.
first smile.
I'm thinking about it.
I can't help but giggle a bit at the two of them. What is he like? Does he do like Fujoshi drawings for real? I don't know. Fan art. Even as they do, there's a small pang of envy there. I can empathize with Eileen keeping her group of friends small, but I do wish I were closer to her. In more ways than one, she's who I wish I could be. Oh, my mom's here. The weird sound of a motorbike's horn can be faintly heard from outside, bringing an end to both my thoughts and this little outing.
That for you?
Giving a nod, I get up from my chair and collect my coat from Eileen's helpful hand, quickly throwing it over myself. Thanks for tonight. It was nice. Not wanting to keep Rose waiting, I wave Wallace goodbye as I take my leave, with Eileen coming along to see me out the door.
Got everything with you?
I quickly pat around my pockets to make sure. Phone, purse, keys, they all seem to be there. All good.
I'll see you then. If you want to come around again, feel free. After all, I only got one freeloader.
If I'm not too much trouble, that'd be nice.
Do poor job of hiding my happiness at the offer. My reply
character as
just a little.
always.
I replied just a little too quick to sound natural.
Believe me, you're in no trouble. It honestly does me good to see you a little bit more upbeat.
I tilt my head a little at the odd idea.
You just seemed kinda skittish before. Now you're all sunshine and rainbows. Suits you.
Oh, sorry, it's the gay. I'm a bit shy. Not to mention a bit homesick. Being able to talk with friends outside of school was a nice change, not to mention having a homemade meal. Even if I didn't help that much, it did take my mind off things. Eventually, as my mind slowly managed to get back into gear, I muster the words to say what I want to tell her as I get past being so flustered. Now, if you don't mind me being around for dinner, maybe being together in a club wouldn't be so bad.
Pushing it.
She hesitates for... What'd you say?
Pushing it.
Okay. She hesitates for a good few moments, making me doubt myself as I offer the suggestion as carefully as possible. She knows I like her as a person, so hopefully she can look past her previous experiences. Just as I begin to think I've overstepped the mark, she gives an almost comically long sigh. The horn sounds again in the distance as silence reigns, but my feet stay plastered as she comes to an answer.
Fine. Tell Capri she can have her dumb club.
Thank you.
Just don't make me regret it.
With an enthusiastic nod and a wave, I start off down the hallway once more, Aline disappearing into her apartment as I look back. Even as I walk down the hallway, my steps somehow feel lighter than they did as I entered. Being around others usually makes me exhausted, but right now I feel more comfortable than ever.
Alright.
Hooray! We've got her to join.
I do believe that's probably going to be where I'll need to call it. Don't want to get too...
Sounds good.
2 hours, 23 minutes. Probably a little less because someone goes on tangents.
Oh, the GIF. You...